Welcome back to CryptoBanter.com. If you are one of the people that think the internet is broken and you like the promise of the Web3 stack that's built on top of blockchain or using blockchain technology, then this next segment may be one for you, because we're going to be speaking to the CTO of the Syntropy protocol, which runs the token called Noia. And it's a way to invest in a new fast internet. Now, I kind of want to know why they say that the internet's broken. Every time I use the internet seems to work and seems to work pretty well. But apparently it's broken. So I'm going to bring Jonas, and Jonas is he is the CTO of the Syntropy protocol, and they are the guys behind the Noia token. Jonas, I'm not even going to try and pronounce your surname, but maybe you want to pronounce your surname for our viewers.
Hey guys, can you hear me all right?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, I'm Jonas. My surname is Simonavic, but don't bother. That's okay.
I didn't want to destroy your surname. All right, so you guys work under the thesis that the current internet is broken. Tell me a little bit more about, and remember that most of our viewers and our listeners are lay people. They're not very technical people. And to them, the internet works. So the question is, why is the internet broken?
Sure. So internet started as a network of networks. It was with the primary goal of just reaching another recipient. So at its core, all of these routing algorithms are based on just lowest amount of network hops your data passes. So it was never designed to be user-centric and optimal. It was meant to be decentralized, but not optimized for security and performance. And that's why it has sort of built-in security problems, which have to be addressed individually. And that creates a rabbit hole of good and evil always fighting together. And the optimizations are done by private companies running private networks. So the internet is optimized for individual networks. So it was never optimized for global usage. And the result is privately owned networks interconnecting by business relationships. So your traffic, your data isn't really routed for fastest speeds, and none of your data is encrypted by default. So internet is a great decentralized protocol, but it was never designed to deal with such data flows and such usage. And it's left for the individual companies and products to actually optimize themselves. And that's what the cloud providers, your Facebooks and Ubers are putting incredible efforts to optimize their networks to provide that good user experience. But as a whole, it was never meant to be efficient and secure as a protocol itself.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the internet protocols, the protocols that run the internet, in fact, the whole internet design, this is a design from the 1980s. I don't think that design has been innovated on since the 1990s. And I think that we've come a hell of a long way. And I think what you're saying is that there's massive centralization around private company nodes. And that's really the majority or one of the big pain points that we have to fix, that we don't have this massive centralization around these private company nodes. Is that right?
Yeah, so much like Bitcoin and Ethereum, internet is one of those great inventions of humankind, which unforeseen the amount of use it will receive. So the amount of data being sent increasing dramatically every year, and it's increasing in an increasing pace as well. And internet started facing scalability issues. But as you mentioned, not only that, with the invention of blockchain and decentralized systems, internet cannot remain inefficient and insecure at its core, just patching the problems by each company individually to maintain their business needs and services. So decentralized systems needs a reliable and secure internet by definition, because for them, there is no company to pick up the phone and call. So people started to trust blockchain as a technology and put a hell of a lot of money on that trust. However, they forget that nearly all of the blockchain systems currently are still only accessible through public internet. So without internet, there is no Bitcoin, there is no Ethereum. So we need to make sure that decentralized systems can work reliably and efficiently, as well as private companies, which can now just invest a ton of money into private infrastructure and make those services work. But for decentralized systems, they cannot do that. So we need to create a internet layer which can be decentralized and optimized at the same time.
Yeah, I got that. I guess that the reason why this is such a scary topic is because I think that when most people think about the new internet, they kind of think about scrapping the old internet. And
Yeah.
when people talk to me about creating a new internet, that for me is a very, very scary proposition. And I must say that when companies come onto the show or talk to me individually and say, oh, we're going to reinvent, we're building the new internet. Whoa, hold on. You know, to get the whole world to change internet. From what I understand, and I want to talk a lot about what you guys are doing, but what you guys are doing is you're saying, no, we're going to keep the same internet. We're just going to, for lack of a better word, enhance it or upgrade it. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Syntropy really helps the internet become what it was always meant to be. So our vision is automatically optimized and programmable layer of internet of unlimited capacity for developers. And it's compatible with the current internet. So it don't need to start from scratch. So it's pretty unrealistic to kind of change the core of internet protocol, which is IP, internet protocol, and it has its iterations going towards the newer standards like IPv6, etc. But you can't really just change it because it works well to reach the end recipient. Well, what we believe is that every developer should be able to choose and programmatically get the connection he wants for their application. And Syntropy will allow that. So we're using the current internet protocol and putting a intelligence layer on top. We want people to run nodes all across the world so we can harvest all of those internet segments. Then our technology is smart enough to calculate and know the best paths that connection can take and basically force their own routing on top. So instead of your internet service provider deciding by their business relationships how that data packet needs to traverse the internet, a developer can decide what kind of connection he wants and why. And so we want to put the routing power to the user, to the developer. And I personally see internet as the greatest transport network in the world, with amazing infrastructure, radio waves and cables covering the whole world. And to use it in the most efficient way, you need Syntropy, as opposed to treating internet as sort of the end product.
Now, I'm assuming that what you're building is completely decentralized, because if it's not completely decentralized, then effectively you've got another centralized party routing, for lack of a better word, routing data. Is this a fully decentralized protocol that anyone can build on?
So we chose a really unique approach because, and it's hard to compare us with sort of standard blockchain protocols, because internet is another beast on its own, right? So we chose an approach to build technology which allows businesses and applications to start using the routing technology, they creating secure connections to gain operational experience, gain adoption, use open source, and encourage developers to build the ecosystem. And we also are working a lot on a very innovative token-based model to incentivize and make sure that this internet can be both optimized and decentralized. And we took gradual approach. So we will launch software called Syntropy Stack, where even now every developer will be able to start building applications on top. It will have some centralized software elements, and then we will slowly put all of those microservices to the newest blockchain-based systems. So as previously, then we knew blockchain only as a ledger which can only be deployed once and it can never be changed. We look at blockchain as another development platform. And today, with the help of blockchain platforms like Polkadot, Cosmos, Chainlink, etc., it's possible to build a blockchain solution which can work as a decentralized software as a service, so that all of those computers and servers can, instead of calling a centralized software service, would call a blockchain-based service. So we want to end up by having fully decentralized services which can be used for developers by developers to create connections. So we want to cover both the business world, the enterprise world, the regular users, and blockchain systems, because blockchain systems needs a decentralized systems to interact. Private companies, for some cases, needs private companies to interact. So we just want to create a better internet and provide ways for users, enterprises, and decentralized systems to utilize that technology.
All right, I got you. And you keep referring to we. So tell me a little bit about the team, when you guys got together and how long you guys have been working on this. And then I want to go more into the rollout, because when I look at your website, it says that there's, I think, 7 days left or 8 days left until you release something. So let's start off by looking at the team. Who is the team behind this? I know that you guys have got a big fan base because my chat here is going crazy, but who are you guys?
Sure. So, you know, we are enthusiasts who want to change the world. And with Syntropy, what our mission and what we say we do is we will try to make internet better. And who can say to that? So we gathered together about 2 years. Who can say no to that? We gathered together about 2 years ago and started building decentralized internet technologies. We started by building a decentralized content delivery network, and then found more and more problems in the core internet protocols, and sort of ended up doing Syntropy and this routing protocol. So one of our co-founders.
Yeah, let's talk about the we, because I think the team behind this is very important.
Yeah.
So you're the CTO and you're one of the founders, right?
Yeah. So one of our co-founders is Bill Norton, and Bill Norton is also a co-founder of a company called Equinix, which is now one of the largest data center providers. And he built. He contributed to building the actual internet and worked on commercialization of the original internet. And then he wrote a book about, you know, peering of internet networks. So he knows internet inside out. And then me and Dom and other co-founders were so enthusiastic about changing the internet. And when we met Bill, our visions just aligned. And when we combine his knowledge on how internet works and the way it should be, and our, you know, young enthusiasm and energy to sort of never stop, you know, gathered together a team of 20, 30 plus. Now, actually, we were 30 plus, the whole company, and 20 plus technology experts in networking industry and software development, and made this a reality. So we now, you know, 30 plus strong, and we're launching soon a huge initiative where we will involve more and more developers to contribute, you know, to this whole initiative as well.
All right, so you're 30 plus strong. I'm going to call up the token price, because I think what this token price has done has been, I mean, this has been one of the biggest or the best must be one of the best performers of the year. It's 60x or 57x. I know you're going to tell me as a founder, look at the price, right?
Yeah, so it was actually, I believe, you know, don't quote me on this, but we were definitely one of the top performers for 2020, like, you know, compared to the whole crypto industry.
All right, now talk to me about funding. How long have you guys been going for? How much funding did you raise? Are you raising more funding? Tell me a little bit about where you guys are at.
Yeah, so we've raised money from blockchain funds and institutional funds, as well as did a small ICO raise back in the days, and then we're also funded through other investments. So you know, we also have a token which is now live, and we will use the token to incentivize open source development, as well as bringing up the network. So for example, to have this huge network of nodes, right? We have 500 plus locations already. We use token because it's the primary engine of this whole initiative, but we are funded as a company through private investments.
All right, let's talk about the launch, because when I looked at the website, the launch, I think the launch yesterday, it was 8 days. So I take it it's 7 days today. I'm actually going to call up the website, but what exactly can we expect? What's live now? What can we expect coming out in the launch? Your website's very, very vague when it comes to that kind of information. And probably, you don't want to share.
Yeah, no, that's totally fine. So who follow us in our community, who follow us in our updates, we've been extremely transparent in what we do and how we do it. So what's launching on January 5 is the Syntropy stack. And that is a collection of tools and technologies and open source and technologies to access and use this network. So it's a platform for every developer to start creating secure connections for their applications and then access this network of optimization. So every developer will be able to start connecting their servers and applications using our platform. And it's a platform where a developer can fully automate and optimize and make those connections built into their applications, and they can be used by developers using Docker, other technologies, using all major known development tools, and everyone who uses cloud like Amazon, Azure, Google Cloud, etc. They all use those types of technologies. So when you open your Uber application, it does have thousands of servers running applications behind. So it is a platform for all of those application developers to start adopting Syntropy stack.
Okay, so I mean, the entire stack gets released in 6 days?
So the first version of the stack is getting released in 6 days, or however that exact amount of time is left. So we will be constantly developing and increasing new features. So what will work on day one is a set of features to create secure connections, and then as we develop further and increase our network, we will allow more and more of those features to be used. Because we really work with real businesses, real use cases, not just empty promises. Every technology needs to be tested and work. And we took a gradual approach of launching a platform for businesses and developers, getting the users, getting the adoption, and then developing further. And our goals for 2021, by the end of it, is to have decentralized microservices running for those developers. So it will be a lot of development done during 2021, and you will see more and more features coming out. And if you see what we've built in 2020 with a small team of individuals, once we start with this huge initiative, I think you will be hardly stoppable.
So I want to talk to you about this huge initiative. What I find with a lot of crypto projects, and specifically tech-heavy projects, and this is undoubtedly a tech-heavy project, is that there's a lot of focus on the tech, and then when it comes to rollout, the rollout is where everything fails. What's the plan? I mean, if this is going to work, you need to get a whole lot of developers actually adopting this as part of their day-to-day almost. This is like something that has to become second nature to them. How do you do this? Is this where the token comes in for incentives? Or tell me a little bit about how you do something like that.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna disclose the full details, but the idea is to make the developers build on our platform stack. Just like other technologies, not in the blockchain space, developers adopt great technologies which are easy to use, and they're supported by other developers. So we will incentivize people building on our stack. That means when they build an application, they can use our stack to do it from the get-go, to do things properly from the get-go. And we will encourage more and more applications and use cases and show tutorials how it can be done to encourage like regular developer community which is not involved in blockchain. We will also start doing integrations with other blockchain projects, which will be super interesting, because what Syntropy is really good at is providing this new connectivity and internet for the blockchain applications as well. And finally, it's the actual development, the open source. So we will encourage open source development to contribute to the Syntropy stack for adoption, because you can only, if you want to build technology which is used worldwide, it needs to be written, and ported to many programming languages. It needs to be interoperable with all of the most used tools. And for that, you can't just do it alone. You need open source community to suggest and to build the integrations they need for their applications. And this way, we want to end up, by having a huge developer community, both contributing to the software stack, as well as using it in a very wide variety of use cases.
You mentioned integrating or working with other blockchains, and then also you mentioned partnerships along the way. Can you talk about what kind of integrations you're doing? Who are the blockchains? Give us a bit of a clue as to where you're going with that, and then also partnerships. Who are these partnerships? Where are these partnerships? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So basically, because internet, every blockchain project runs on internet. You need internet. So our goal is really every blockchain node, if it needs to communicate to another blockchain node, it should do it via Syntropy. And that really opens a Pandora's box of use cases and integrations. So again, I'm not gonna drop names today, but
see, I'm not going to get it out of you. I can keep trying. I'm not going to get out the names, huh?
If there is a blockchain project where people need to run nodes and those nodes need to communicate, and developers and DevOps teams who run those nodes need to take care of them, see that they're all online, validators need to validate, they need to be secure, efficient, if some people need to monitor them. So if any of that is true for that project, an integration can be done, because if there's one server sending information to another server, it can be done using our platform. So think about, the amount of use cases there is on internet. There is a wide spectrum of blockchain projects which can benefit from our stack.
Alrighty. Lastly, before I let you go, we are running out of time and the chat is going crazy. But let's talk about the token. So the use cases of the token. What is this token all about? What gives this token a market cap of, I don't know, 60, 70? I haven't looked at the actual numbers, but 60 or 70 million dollars. What is the use case? How do you justify the valuation?
So the valuation is currently justified by our technology, our progress, and the trust in the team and the vision. But the end goal, of course, is a solid tokenomics, which allows to have a decentralized plus optimized internet. Because so we have a quantitative research team working on a token model as we speak, and we will have an updated model coming out with all sorts of modeling done and the new tokenomics paper as well. The end goal of the tokenomics model is to prove that the more data is being sent through our network, the more the token is worth, because the more trust it gives in the system. So it will be an incentive-based system for people to always provide capacity to the internet. And then the more data is being sent, the more capacity you need. The more capacity you need, the more trust needs to be given to the network. So think Ethereum, the more transactions happen, the more miners you need to make the network trustworthy and to make to do those transactions quicker. So likewise in our network, the way we want to enable this internet is having hundreds of thousands of nodes incentivized to always be there when we need them. And also, the more data we send through our network with adoption, the more of those nodes we need. So it's like gas for internet, really. And I'm super excited to be to be having to be working on this model, and we'll be releasing it definitely very soon.
Exactly. I think that analogy of gas for internet is an amazing analogy. It's not only a transaction fee gas for internet, but also decides where data is routed. And then, of course, that stops all the security issues and stops all the centralization issues. And that, of course, solves a massive problem around the internet. And I think the part that I like the most here is that you're not a bunch of wacky people that are coming in and saying, look, we're building a completely new internet, and in 10 years, everybody's going to be on this internet. What you're saying is, if we just build a layer over the current internet, we can solve probably 80% of the problems that we have with the current internet, and then we can do that. All right, if people want to see more or want to know more about the project, your website is very vague. All it says is that in 6 days, exactly 6 days, something's going to happen or there's going to be a launch. Where can we find more information?
So our website's new because we just did a rebrand, as I said, with the new vision of Syntropy, and it will have more information. So in Jan 5 as well, there will be more information released on a website. But we do have amazing community. So first point of contact is, of course, Telegram. And I want to just take the opportunity to thank our community, which has been incredibly supportive. And
Amazing. I mean, your community are all here. Sounds like ETH should use the Noia platform, gas for internet, pumped for Noia. I mean, the chat is going absolutely wild here. I mean, I wish I had more time today, but it is the last show of the year, so we've got a lot coming up, and we've got our next segment, which our viewers love, which is our small cap mining segment next. All right, so you're saying the best way, go to the Telegram. I know you guys have got an announcement channel, and also know you've got a very, very vibrant community, thousands of members, if I remember correctly, over 16,000 members, right?
Yeah, and also please do check our Twitter. You know, you can find me on Twitter as well, where I share all those optimization results, you know, and our progress. And that's what's really cool about it is, and that's why the community is so excited, because once you see internet can be optimized 30, 50, 60%, that's it, like cats out of a box. You cannot unsee it. And then, you know, if we don't achieve it, someone will. But the fact is the internet isn't optimal, and we'll do our best to make it so. So please do check our Twitter, follow our Medium. We have incredible articles explaining what we do, how, why. As you said, it's tech heavy, but our goal is, you know, going further, is to educate people about internet, about security, about optimizations. So to make, you know, every person understand how internet works and how we can make it better, and I think we should.
That's an amazing way to end off the segment, and an amazing way to end off the year. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Jonas. I've got a question here in the chat. They're saying, which is the correct Twitter handle for the project? Apparently, there's a couple of Twitter handles. Which is the right one for the project?
I believe the official one is at Syntropy.net, but please do check on our Telegram, where our amazing community managers will direct you every way you need.
All right, so this sounds like an exciting project. I must say, full disclosure, I am an investor in this project. I've held this token about 8 cents or 10 cents, and so I am an investor. Pretty excited about it. All of that is obviously going to be on my disclosures page. So Jonas, thank you very much. Have a fantastic new year, and of course, we'll catch up with you, I think, just on the launch. So I think when you guys launch in 6 days or so, we will try and catch up with you at the launch and see where that goes. Thank you so much for coming on CryptoBanter.com.
Amazing. Likewise. Thanks for having us. And again, thanks everyone for your support. It's been really amazing, and we'll definitely try our best, as we always did.
Amazing. Jonas, thank you so much.